Very well. So here we have the second one, and this looks relatively complex, but it is rather easier, you know. So I'm gonna again start quickly with the circle, and this time I'm not gonna make the circle because I already have a circle here. I'm gonna make a copy of that, but then I realized that I have chopped out that, for the shadow. So let's make another one. Yeah, I'm just trying to roughly make it of the same size, not stressing much upon the dimensions. Yeah, this is fine. Hit I on the keyboard, pick out the background, and then see, the construction is fairly clear. It is created out of a rectangle and a few circles, right? So I'm gonna go to the rounded rectangle this time because I see clearly that the corners are rounded, and I'm going to create something like this. Then adjust the size and hit I on the keyboard and quickly pick out the color. Use the subselection tool to adjust the corners as per the size of it, and then maybe increase the thickness a little. Perfect. Then this part has that shadow, the shade effect. So for that, I'm going to make a copy of this one, Control C, and paste it back on the same. So I have two copies of it, and then say Control Z, get it back where it was. Create a rectangle. It's, I think, exactly in the middle, maybe slightly offsetted towards right. So I'm going to use this top shape and the shape below that, and use the Pathfinder shape mods to trim it. Okay. Now I'm going to hit I on the keyboard and pick out this color. Then,
Also, they're in Essential Classics too, so they're using Essential Classics as their workspace.
yeah, this is also Essential Classics.
Okay.
Yeah, this is exactly the same. Okay. Now I'm going to use the ellipse tool, and for creating this ring, there are two ways how we can do that. We can do that with a stroke, or we can do that with two shapes, uh, and then trim out the middle part of it. So right now you see that there is the circle. I'm gonna show both the options. So the circle is there. I'm gonna say Control C, Control F to paste it on top. Reduce the size of it till the time I get the correct thickness, and then select both of them and simply use the shape mod to trim out that part, and then select this, say Control X, select this larger rectangle, and say Control B to paste it on the back. Easy, right? So this is one method, but there is a little problem, not a problem actually, it's not a problem because we don't want to keep on changing the size of it, but there is an easier way of doing it with just the stroke. So all you have to do is click here or press Shift X on the keyboard to turn the fill into stroke, and then you can go to the strokes panel and then increase the thickness of it and
And
place
that
it
was
anywhere
Shift
you want.
X.
Yeah, Shift X, or you can click on this icon here, swap fill and stroke. Okay, now I'm going to just place it here. So any method is fine. I'm gonna delete this one, and now these two circles, extremely easy to do. Just create the circle, hit I on the keyboard, pick out color from here, say Control C, Control F, reduce the size of it, hit I on the keyboard and pick out this, and then this rectangle. Very, very simple. Zoom in a little bit and create this rectangle. Okay, now select these two and place where it should be. Bring it all the way to the top. Command Shift right bracket on the keyboard brings it on top of the stacking order, and then we can adjust it. Okay, I think this circle needs to be slightly bigger. Yeah, slightly smaller. Okay, so far it was very easy to do. Now the last thing is remaining, which is to create that shadow effect. Okay, so let's try doing that. I'm gonna use the rectangle once again, create the rectangle, rotate it. Okay, and place it, and then resize it. Let's reduce this from here. Okay, and select everything which is there, and then use the shape builder tool, and we just have to hover on top of this, and here hold option, get rid of this, and just let go of things. Now I can select this shape and hit delete, and select this shape. No, that should be there. I think we have what we need. We just have to select this uh, part and this part and make a group of them, and then I can press I on the keyboard and pick out this color which represents the shadow. Oh, sorry. Yeah, simple. So we have built the second one. Okay, let's quickly attempt the third one, and I'm just gonna pull all of these down so that I can bring this one. Now this one is extremely simple to do, just rectangles, wouldn't take much time. So we'll start with the circle now. I on the keyboard, pick out the background color, start with a rounded rectangle shape, adjust the corners, hit I on the keyboard, pick out this color. Then this time we'll have a different approach for splitting it. I'm gonna use a line and create a line, hit D for setting the default colors. Then I think slightly it is offsetted towards right. I'm gonna select the line and the rectangle, the rounded rectangle. Use the shape builder tool and then click on this one, click on this one, and then alt click on this one to get rid of it. Alt click on this one to get rid of it. So what I did, I splitted that rectangle into two. Now I'm gonna select one on the left, hit I on the keyboard, pick out the color, press V on the keyboard, select the right one, hit I on the keyboard, and pick out this color from here. Then once again I'll switch to the rounded rectangle tool to get this shape here, and use the shape builder tool, the sub selection tool to set the curvature. And this also is broken into two pieces. So once again I can repeat the same thing. I'm gonna use a line, hit D to set the default colors, select the line segment, click on the shape to select it, press shift plus M to bring the shape builder tool, click once, hold option, get rid of this line, get rid of this line, press V on the keyboard, select the left one, hit I on the keyboard, pick out the color, press V, select the right one, I on the keyboard, pick out this one. Very simple. Now we can select these two, pull this down and reduce the thickness of it, go close to it, and then we realize that this is not working out well, right? I should have made a copy earlier, but this is fine. Let's try a different method. Rather than one rectangle, we will use two now. And rather than rounded corners, we will use the simple one. So let's start with this rectangle. Okay, then make a copy of it and then shift click on both of them. Use the same technique which we had used for the first icon. I'm gonna select these four corners and then pull the selection. Very simple. Now all we have to do, because they are separate rectangles, they are separate shapes, I can select them, hit I on the keyboard and pick out the color. Okay, and for creating these, extremely simple, just go pick out the rounded rectangle and create one, hit I on the keyboard, pick out the color, and then just count the number 1 2 3 4 5 6 are there, so make sure that it is placed correct and then make a copy of it. Okay, and then press Ctrl D. So we have six.
How did you make a copy? Did you hold down Option or did you do something
Yeah,
different?
yeah, for making the copy I held Option and then dragged it. That gave me one copy, and after that I have pressed Ctrl D to make multiple copies of it, and I have 6 copies.
So Control Option, and then you pulled it down, and then you hit Control D.
Yeah, but now notice that this is aligned with this one and this is exactly where it is, so that means the spacing is gone wrong. So rather than doing it all over again, let's try to fix the spacing by using alignment tools. So I'm gonna select this one, shift click on this one, and I need to align this with this. So I want this to move, not to this. So I'm going to once click again on this to select this as a key object, then go on the command panel here and then use this option vertical align top to bring this down, this option. Okay, now the challenge is to distribute these tiny shapes evenly. So I'm gonna shift click to select all of them and then use this option which says vertically distribute center. Simple. Okay, that's this option, vertically distribute center, and now we have precisely what we need. For creating the shadow, we have done it so many times. Let's do it with pen tool this time. So I'm gonna use the pen tool and let's say I'll just roughly create a shape. uh, okay, creating it with rectangle was simpler and better also, but you can use pen tool as well, and then all you have to do is select the shapes and then use the shape builder, shift M, and I'm gonna click and drag on this, hold alt and then get rid of this part. Then we need to remove this shape, so select and delete, select this one, hold I on the keyboard and pick out the shadow color. Okay, so we have built the replica of this one as well. Now two are remaining, so this one is relatively easier I think, except this part. Okay, so this part I'll just show this part because these is fairly easy to do, and then we'll move to this one. So let me just drag this, make a copy of it, and we'll start with a circle. The shadow part we have done multiple times. This rectangle of course people can create, and these shapes can also be created. So only that this part is a little challenging, and that can be done by using pen tool. So you click, drag, hit D to set the default colors, but you will see this white fill also coming along. So you have to go to the color pickers, make sure that the fill is prioritized and click on no fill. And then you have to increase the thickness of it. Then for getting this round, you have to set the cap settings, the second option, which is round cap, and you get this rounded effect. Now for the outline, you have to outline prioritize the outline, and then hit I on the keyboard and try to pick this color, but it will come in the fill color. But no worries, you have to just press Shift X on the keyboard, which swaps the stroke with the fill, and then again change the thickness to the desired value. I'm gonna go for 3 points in this case, and then change the cap settings again. So we should have actually picked the color earlier before we started manipulating it. If you are not happy with the curve, you can again adjust it by selecting subselection tool, selecting the handles and playing around with it till the time you get the exact right thing. That's not a problem. Once you are done with everything and you are happy with the position and the shape, the last thing you have to do is convert this outline into a shape, which can be done by going to the object menu and choosing expand. From the expand option, make sure both are selected, fill and stroke, and then say OK. Now this is no longer an outline, this is a shape. Okay, so that's the only part. And post that, of course, I'm just gonna put this rectangle quickly and adjust it. And I'm pretty sure if you have done these three, this will be extremely easy for you to pull off, except this part. So not gonna complete this, I'll let you guys do it. Let me just pull these four also down. Oh, I made a copy accidentally. I'll just get rid of it. And we'll do the last one. Now this one also is pretty easy. I'm very sure if you have done these, you already have some idea about how to pull up this. But just see if you can follow along. I'm not gonna say anything, I'll just build it this time. So for this cloud part here, which looks like a cloud, we can imagine this a combination of three circles. One, two, and three in the center, and the center one is going to be slightly bigger than both of them. And I'm gonna push this up. Simple, right? And this is hidden here, but if you want to join these two, we can simply create a rectangle and make sure that it's aligned with the center of these circles, and automatically you will see it's gonna align perfect. Okay, some adjustment here and there. I think alignment is an issue, so I'm gonna select this one, this one, and use this bottom align. I think this rectangle got rotated a little bit while I was creating it, so I'm gonna create it once again. Yeah. So while doing it, make sure that this line is exactly meeting at the center of the circle, and that way you will be able to eliminate any possibility of, because we'll be making a tangent, right? So if this is a tangent, it will perfectly meet. Now all we have to do is select everything and press unite in the shape mod. So now we have this, and we need to break this in half, right? Before we do so, let me quickly change its color and place it where it is supposed to be, and resize also a little bit. Yeah, yeah, I think this is fine. Little bit. Mm, perfect. Now I'm gonna use the line tool and hit D to set the default values. Select the shape and the line, press Shift M to bring the shape builder. Click on this, hold Alt or Option for Mac and get rid of these extra lines. Select this shape, hit I, pick out the color, select this shape, hit I, pick out this color, and we are good to go. Now for creating this shape, we can create the half of it and then mirror it, or we can create the full thing and also split it in half the way we did it for this one. Very, very simple. Let's try to break the geometry first. We have a rectangle and we have a triangle. So in order to create the triangle, we can use the polygon tool and draw, but it gives you a polygon. No worries. You just have to double click back on the polygon tool. Oh, sorry. Takes a while. Yeah. So you have to double click on the, no, oh, my bad. It's Illustrator. Sorry for that. So what we have to do, rather than clicking and dragging it, select the polygon tool and simply click once. Make sure that you are aligned to the center, or even if it gets a little offsetted, we can arrange that later on. So you click once and then make sure the size is set to 3 and say OK. That way you will get a triangle and it's also perfectly aligning to the center. All we have to do is hold shift and then rotate it in this way and then resize it. Okay, pretty close, right? Now we have to select these two shapes and merge them together. So we have this arrow, but it's very pointy, right? So we can quickly get rid of those corners by going to the sub-selection tool, clicking on any of the handles and then dragging it. As I do so, all the things are going as we have planned except these two handles. So what we have to do is select the handles manually by shift clicking and do not include these two handles while we are doing so. And then we can drag any of the handles to set the curve the way we want it. Perfect. And then we know how to split it also. I'm gonna use the center of this and create a line segment. Then set the default color for this, select these two. Even if you don't set the default color, it will do just fine. You just have to have a path in the center of it. But for the demonstration sake, I am always setting up the default color and then switching to the shape builder tool. So I'm going to recognize this one, hold option, get rid of this, get rid of this. And it seems as if nothing there, but the path has white color filled into it. So I'm going to select this, hit I on the keyboard, pick out this color, press B, select this, hit I, pick out this, select both of them and then bring it where it is supposed to be. And then resize if needed a little. Not gonna show how the shadow should be built because that's been done already. So that's pretty much, oh, let me change the background color also. Yeah, and then we can select the entire thing, resize it if needed, and we are good to go. So we have successfully created all these 5 icons. And if you can create these 5, I'm 100% sure these are very easy to pull off. Out of these, only this is going to be a little difficult because it has an organic shape, but try using it, try doing it with the help of pen tool. And this is also a little critical, but it would be really, interesting to see how people approach these and then, build upon it. So that's for the video. I'm gonna switch off the video and Lisa, then we are gonna talk. Anything you want to me to cover, Lisa, here? So that I switch off the video recording now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you, Rajiv.